special video.
Good evening. It's truly a privilege to be here to be introducing a special video in honor of Barbra. Over the 30-plus years, I'd venture to say she's come across many thousands of volunteers, employees, colleagues, and residents, and I would be very comfortable in saying she has had a profound impact on each and every one. For me, Barbra is a force of nature. We do not say no to Barbra. We just figure out how to make whatever she thinks needs to happen, happen. Maybe the grandchildren would be the only ones who might say no from time to time, not even. It's been such a treat working with Barbra and a thrill. She is wise, and her advice is always sound and good, and I've learned tremendously from her. I think we've had our interesting discussions along the way, but always fix everything over a lunch. I think we've all been so privileged and lucky to have come in your sphere and in your path, and you will be incredibly missed, but we look forward to post-retirement stuff. Wishing you lots of good health and happiness, and enjoy everything.
Barbra Gold has been a really significant contributor to the well-being of the community.
Barbra est une personne qui a eu un impact majeur sur notre établissement.
Barbra, c'est une gestionnaire de proximité. J'ai jamais vu quelqu'un comme ça qui se promenait sur les unités à parler aux résidents, puis elle avait un réflexe très rapide de regarder le nom sur le côté du fauteuil roulant pour vraiment avoir un contact privilégié avec chacun des résidents.
I would say Barbra's greatest quality would be her practicality. So I'm also a very practical person, so I appreciate somebody who's practical. We would look at a problem, analyze it, and come up with realistic and practical solutions.
When all about her are losing their heads, she stays calm. Frankly, the bigger the problem, the bigger the crisis, the better she is.
Barbra est une personne très déterminée. Alors, si elle croit en quelque chose, elle va aller jusqu'au bout, elle va y mettre toute l'énergie nécessaire. Elle le fait pour le bien des patients, pour le bien des résidents.
I'm always astonished that Barbra can figure out the solution to a problem before most people have even figured out what the problem is. And I think that that's what a true leader does. And that's exactly who she's been each and every day. And I was just lucky to be able to learn from her.
I think when you talk about the impact that Barbra's had, you have to go way back before the creation of the CIUS. I mean, over the years, Barbara's been at Maimonides for about 30 years now, and she put Maimonides on the map.
I remember during the height of pandemic, when we were doing long hours, one time she called us at midnight, asking us to go home and take some rest. She was always there to support us.
When you work with Barbra, you were like family. She treated you like family. It wasn't just about work. She would be part of your life in every aspect. She gave great advice, not just with work, but she gave great advice if you had personal issues, if you had family issues, if you had medical issues. She just always gave very logical and solid advice, and you wanted to work with her. It was a pleasure to work with her.
I remember one of my first memories is being invited to high tea. I felt like the Queen of England was inviting me to celebrate, and when I saw all the staff there and how they were catered to and treated, they must have all felt that they were invited by the Queen to high tea. That's how special Barbra makes everybody feel.
Elle a définitivement changé ma vie. Je me suis fait désirer quand elle m'a approché la première fois pour aller travailler à Maimonides. Je ne connaissais pas ça, je ne parlais pas anglais. J'étais un peu craintive, j'étais une jeune mère et elle m'a accueillie à bras ouverts. J'ai découvert une communauté extraordinaire.
Barbra, I would really want you to know that it was a pleasure working with you during all of these years.
Barbra, wish you all the best for your new phase of life.
You should be very proud of your contributions over the years, and that I'm sure in looking back at your time working in the system, that you should feel very proud of the contributions that you've made.
Oh, je lui ai dit plusieurs fois au cours des 20 dernières années comment je l'aime, puis comment je suis contente qu'elle ait insisté pour me dire « Viens voir qu'est-ce que ça a de l'air », parce que j'ai fait des rencontres extraordinaires.
We need to thank you sincerely and honor you for the extremely important work that you've done all these years.
And I want to thank you for all that you've done for us, for your colleagues, and for the people that you've served these many, many years, and just wish you only wonderful things.
I wish Barbra just a lot of happiness and enjoyment in retirement.
We're going to miss you tremendously.
I think that the elderlies really appreciate what you have been doing for them.
Barbra, I would like you to know how much you've meant to me, both at work and at play. Thank you so much for everything.
You know that you're precious in my life. You're an inspiration, you're a leader, and most importantly, you're my friend, almost my sister.
Benefit from half of all of us. Simcha and better things to come. I want to present you with this 30-year pin. See?
Beautiful then, and you're still so beautiful. Barbra and I go back a long time, She almost hired me.
And then you hired me.
Right, exactly, that was beautiful. So, I'm gonna follow her steps close by, so I know what she's going through. Better or new afterwards, but
You already did that with my sister.
yeah, I already did. So don't go too far.
Thank you so much. And now it's time, just when you think it's over, Barbara, there's one more. It's time for what most of us have been waiting for tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce Len Lukowicz, who will honor outgoing director of SAPA, Barbara Gold, with the Outstanding Service Award. Len, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I may cry, you may cry. Just a bit. Poet Maya Angelou said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Our Barbra has devoted over 30 years to ensuring that the most vulnerable in our society feel heard, feel safe, and feel cared for. And now she is retiring. It's hard to imagine this place without you, Barbra. It is an honor for me to take this moment to convey our respect and gratitude for all that you have brought to this vast community of precious seniors, to our beautiful staff, our loyal board members, and our devoted volunteers. I've had the great honor of sitting on the foundation and center boards for 20 years, even as president. And in that time, I witnessed Barbra embody what I feel are the three most challenging responsibilities of a CEO: to set the vision, to put the right people in place to execute that vision, and to plan for succession. From the time she was hired as executive director of the then Maimonides Hospital Geriatric Center, at only age 37, Barbra set the tone of collaboration and no nonsense. She had a vision of what she wanted her time at Maimonides to mean. I think most of all, it was her own combination of patience and determination that made it all happen. She knew how to get everyone moving and growing in the right direction. Barbra had the courage to take risks. By her own admission, she wouldn't take no for an answer. One powerful example of Barbara's vision involved becoming certified by Plaintree. She identified the best model for patient-centric care, and then, through months and months of training and certification, Maimonides reached new heights by inspiring caregivers to personalize, demystify, and humanize the patient experience. This led Maimonides to go further in geriatric care and become a recognized leader across the world. More on that later. The needs of the residents have always been Barbara's top priority. She is driven by the belief that people in long-term care deserve the same quality of care as those in acute care hospitals. When I started out, Barbra said, long-term care was a poor cousin, and I didn't think it deserved to be. These people are entitled to the best. Another example of Barbara's vision involved creating a feeling of camaraderie and collaboration among the staff and volunteers. Just look at the strength of the board-foundation relationship and the vast network of pro bono professionals sitting on our committees. Bram Freedman, a longtime board member, remembers, Barbra captained our ship and made it her business to know every aspect of it. And no detail was too small for Barbra. It all mattered, and yet never a micromanager. So our magnificent foundation director, Karen Flam, said she learned so much by just watching Barbra in action. She recalled on any given day, Barbra could be seen talking to residents and visiting them on the floors. She said she remembers seeing Barbra walk the halls, and it moved her how nurses, doctors, orderlies, and residents would call out to her, "Hey, Mrs. Gold, hey, Barbra." Barbra even instituted, as we saw, something called high tea, which gave employees a chance to ask questions and discuss work issues. According to staff, Barbra's informal meetings made them feel valued and heard, and gave them a place to connect with the administration. It helped them feel like a family, all joined by a common goal. One never to walk away from a challenge, in 2005, after 14 years at the helm of Maimonides, Barbra accepted the additional role of Executive Director of Jewish Elder Care. Bram Freedman, past chair, who championed a huge turnaround, said Barbra took over during a very challenging time in elder care's development. She brought professionalism and stability to the center and fully delivered on patient-centered excellence, as they knew she would. 10 years later, after another series of cuts and restructurings of the provincial health system, Barbra was appointed director of the support program for the autonomy of seniors at the newly formed CIUS de Centre Ouest de l'Île de Montréal. She was now responsible for home care in a territory with 55,000 clients, as well as over 2,000 nursing beds spread across 7 facilities, including our own Donald Berman Maimonides Geriatric Center and Donald Berman Jewish Elder Care. So despite tremendous changes to Quebec's healthcare system over the years, Barbra has always insisted on maintaining rich institutional and cultural identity of the center she oversaw. The current CEO, Dr. Lawrence Rosenberg, commented that in every community and organization there are challenges. Strong communities and organizations have a clear sense of what their ideals are, who they are, and what they aspire to be. It's the leader's job to define this reality. Barbra, throughout her distinguished career, has certainly epitomized this role. One of Barbra's greatest strengths is the ability to hire the right people for the job and to entrust and empower to get things done with excellence. A great quote about management could have been written about you, Barbra. To inspire people, don't show them your superpowers, show them theirs. And that is what she did and does, recruiting the team she knows will build a strong future, and in the process, mentors a long list of current and future managers. Carrie Bogante, Director of Finance for the CIUS, says Barbra has always been her mentor. I admire her team approach. Whether working with the ministry or with members of the senior leadership, she always included her entire team in finding solutions. She made us all feel valued and supported, which inspired us to do better and helped me where I am today. Barbra earned major public accolades over the years, helping transform Maimonides and elder care into leaders in geriatric care and models of excellence throughout the world. She was the first Canadian in the history of the Association of Jewish Aging Services to be their board chair. She was also the first Jewish executive director to take home a prestigious award from the Quebec Association of Health and Social Service Establishments, the ACES, recognizing her exceptional leadership. She won the highest award at AGIS, the Dr. Herbert Shore Award, for being an outstanding executive professional who exemplifies the goals and ideals of the best in senior services. Barbra is a trailblazer. She leads by doing. She's often the first one to arrive and the last to leave. She's willing to accept any challenge. And if she can't find a solution, she has a lifelong, loyal database of trusted people that she reaches out to for help and guidance. She's not afraid to ask for help, which I think is a prime example of success and courage. From scabies to COVID-19, in 30 years, Barbra has seen it all, but she never lets anything deter her. She puts the needs of our residents at the forefront of all she does. In the year 2000, for example, she was adamant that care homes needed electric beds similar to those in hospitals because it makes it easier for staff to tend to the residents. Always the staff, always the residents. So she found a Quebec-made model of beds, but it didn't have formal approval from the Standards Board. So that didn't deter you. Barbra pursued it to the top. After a relentless effort, she succeeded in getting the Bureau de Normalisation de Québec to change the provincial regulations, and the bed was accepted. And not just used here at Maimonides, but across the province now. New York Times bestselling authors, Siegel and Bryson, talk about a book they wrote called The Power of Parents Showing Up. So what do they mean by showing up? They mean offering a quality of presence. It's not about being perfect, but about being there. Every child, they write, needs to feel the 4 S's in order to feel healthy and resilient. Safe, seen, soothed, and secure. This immediately made me think of you, Barbara, as the leader of this family. You have worked tirelessly for 30 years to help our staff, residents, and volunteers feel safe, seen, soothed, and secure. This has led to an organization that is healthy and resilient. Barbara, on a very personal note, I feel you are simply the finest CEO I have ever had the honor to work with. Not just because you are both tough as nails and fair to the last drop, not just because you are resolute, clear, and determined to serve our residents and clients as though they are family. Not just because you choose and lead huge teams with grace and class, and not just because people want to work with you and be led by you. You are the finest CEO I have ever worked with because you inspire people. You garner tremendous respect, and you create an environment that thrives because people feel motivated to learn and feel free to create. I am a better person for having worked with you and for having learned from your example of leadership. Please accept our best wishes for Mazel Tov on your retirement, from me, my family, from all the people you have touched on every level. May the future bring you so much joy and love and fun times with all the amazing people in your life. As I conclude, a heartwarming tribute will play behind me. It was produced by our loving and talented communications and foundation team. So I will leave you with this quote that certainly could have been written about you. Leadership is about making others better, a result of your presence, and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Barbara, on behalf of the corporations, the foundations, the centers, and the thousands of residents, staff, volunteers, and board members you have impacted so positively and so profoundly, please come up to accept this incredibly well-deserved Outstanding Service Award for all that you have given and all whom you have inspired. Thank you.
So I hardly know what to say. I mean, it's been like the most incredible 2 to 3 weeks of my life. I mean, I'm so touched by all the recognition that I've received from all my peers and from the staff. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. You know, I'm really, really lucky and blessed to have been able to do this job for all these years. And my biggest joy, and I think you heard that a little bit, is all the people I've worked with. I mean, that's what made it great to come to work. Just fabulous, fabulous people. And looking around this room, like every single person is in that category. And you know, from my board chairs at Maimonides and Elder Care, Len, Ron, Larry, Archie, Bram, and the committee chairs, Murray, and committee members, Miriam, Ronnie. I mean, you guys gave me your support unconditionally to do my job, and really during the good times and during the challenging times. All the foundation presidents and boards who were there to support me, and the team who helped me realize our dreams to provide the best possible care for the resident. Thank you. And really, the senior management team originally at Maimonides, Jacques, Lucie, Carrie, Jack, I mean, you're my friends. Like, I don't even know what else to say. After everything I've heard, you know how I feel about you. But, you know, I was just so lucky to have such a great team. And who can forget Karen? I mean, the shining light that's really moved the organization also to the forefront. You know, it's a very easy job when you have such a great team. So it really wasn't hard. I never felt it was difficult for a day. Since we've become part of the CIUS Centre West, our SAPA teams are also outstanding, from Christine and Rosalie, Luke, Aaron, Jennifer, and Leah. Like, you've become even stronger during the last 18 months and the whole COVID experience. And I feel as close to you guys as I do to the team that I worked with for 15 or 18 years. And to the senior leaders of our CIUS, I mean, first of all, Bev, that video, I can't even, we'll have a conversation about it. But to you, Bev, Francine, Dr. Rosenberg, and Gary. I mean, it's just really thank you for giving me the space over the past 6 years to really do what I liked doing, and you didn't stop me from doing it. So thank you very much. You know, I feel a little bit like an Academy Award winner. Like, I have to say thank you to everyone, and I'm sure I've forgotten people. But finally, what I really want to say is I want to say thank you to my husband, Paul, and to my daughters, Debbie and Kimmy, who were my biggest cheerleaders and support system all those years through good and bad. So thank you, guys. And, you know, it's a very emotional time. I'll be leaving on Friday, but I'm not really going to leave because I'll be back at some point, I'm sure, in the healthcare system. And thank you very much, everybody. It's an honor.
Thank you, and very well said. Beautiful words about Barbra. And Barbra, mazel tov, and long and healthy retirement to you, but we'll see you around the halls.